Hi everybody, welcome to Gabby's Art Studio. Today I'm going to be experimenting with some gel plates and having a play with them. I've purchased this little plate here. It's made out of gel. It's from Speedball. It's a printing plate. It's meant to be quite a lot of fun, and I know a lot of people play with it, and you can actually make your own, but I've decided to buy one. They're about 30 Australian dollars to buy. So this is what they look like. Easy and fun to create beautiful one-of-the-kind prints, which you can use to make cards, all sorts of really nice things, even you know, big posters if you like, by using it as a stamp. You can get bigger ones, but I like to work in a small size because I'm in a very small space at the moment. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to peel off and keep this, which is just a piece of very thick plastic, and it preserves the plate and protects the plate. So you put the plate down like so. It's a bit sticky, but not too much. I have a brow here and another one as well, two different ones, just to see how I go. And you can use any sort of acrylic paint is a good idea, and some stencils. So today, instead of using stencils, I'm going to try and use some leaves from the garden and see how I go. So as I said, this is very experimental, and I'm not sure what sort of prints I'm going to get. So to start with, I'll use some global acrylic paint, and I'm going to use a little bit of purple here. There we go. And maybe some magenta, which is one of my favorite colors. Always add a bit of splash of magenta to most things as it makes it nice and bright. Okay, here we go. Just roll it up. It's probably a little bit too much paint, doesn't matter. Okay, and what I might do is always turn these upside down. I'll just pull a little print off it just to see. Now you can use any sort of paper. I like to use Cartridge paper. You go over the top. Now you can either do this with your hand or one of these instruments that we use in printmaking, and you just peel it off and you get a fantastic print. Now I did apply the paint a little bit too much, and as I said to you in the beginning, it is a bit experimental for me, but it's got some fantastic textures happening here, and as that dries, that'd be great. You could probably even get a brush and before it dries sort of work and scrape images out of it if you wished, like so. So you can see that happening and draw back into it. I kind of like doing stuff like that, but that's a beautiful colour. It looks fantastic. So here I've got the plate. I've still got some colour. Oh, it's just gone dark. Oh. Sorry about that. Okay, and what I might do is I might just add just a touch more colour, like so. But this time I've come across, I sort of bought some onions today in a bag, and I thought, what can I do with this? Always looking at salvaging stuff, and decided I might try and actually print this, see how I go. So I'm just going to lay it over the top like so, and once again just put this out the way, excuse my hand. Okay, I'm at the moment using an aquarelle watercolour, which is a hot press, but it's a thin one. It's not the 300 GSM I normally use. It's about 185. Okay, I'm going to put that over the top. Now I've got one of these brayers, so I can just roll it, see what happens. You never know what's going to happen, and that's the fun about it, because you can't predict, and you can never get the same thing. This is moving a little bit, but I think that's going to be something really, really interesting. Like that. So sometimes when you have papers that you've made with other little experiments and techniques, and you think, oh, that didn't really work out, you can actually have a go at doing something like this. So I intend to make some cards. I like making my own cards, and wow, look at that. I've got some really interesting things happening there. So I can put that down. possibly take that off. And as you can see, I still got a print on that. So I did this coloured bubbles a week ago, and just experimented with some detergent and inks and allowed it to drop on the page. And that might be quite interesting because that one didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. But I'm just going to see it's actually working better here. What's going to happen? I might use it this way instead. Okay, and once again, rub it, pick up the paint. Okay, peel it off, and there you go. So I've got almost like a positive and a negative print happening. Quite interesting. It is obviously an abstraction that you can work with. I can see all sorts of things that I can use this with. I quite like it. So these are just some of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to apply some more paint to it. I've got quite a lot on my roller here, so I will do this. I might even put a little bit of complementary colours, use a bit of yellow to it. Oh, actually, yep, yellow. See what happens. Sometimes yellow can make things a little bit too brown, but we'll wait and see. Now this is slightly thicker and it's an Atelier, and generally I sort of thin it out, but I'm going to use it the way it is just to see what happens. This is a lot of fun. Love it. Oops, so it is thick, as you can see. Okay. That's okay. Alright, so I might put a little bit of purple over the top of it as well. Don't want too much paint. But if you've got too much paint, don't worry. I mean, just roll it in and lift it. Yeah, it's interesting. That's quite interesting, actually. Quite like that. So I'll get another piece of paper. See what happens. I'll lift it. You can use a roller or printing disc. These are great. Peel it off. Whoa, look at the print you're getting. That is awesome. Love it. Okay. So, you know, out of these, just one little plate, I've created so many different interesting papers. So what I'm going to do is I might just add a little bit more colour here and there. I might need to put a little bit more purple in that and a touch of pink. So we'll go purple first. Ever so slight there and maybe there. And a little bit of magenta. Okay, play with the roller, probably a little bit too much, doesn't matter. Okay, just this time I'm actually going to try and use some leaves from my garden. So this is an orange blossom that I grow outside, which it's its new leaves that are quite tender, find them quite easy to work with, and maybe one down here. Now you can sort of be quite strategic with this if you wish. So you see what's going to happen in a minute. I have got some other leaves here, some ferns and things like that. I'm just excited to see this. And this is great to do with students as well. I have 17-year-old students who sometimes are totally disengaged with what they're doing, and I'll do something like this and they'll just think, oh wow, this is so much fun. And it is so much fun. And then, you know, sometimes we get these printed quite big and they look awesome in a frame and exhibit it in the college exhibition or an external community exhibition. So let's see what's going to happen here. Okay, rub it. Whoa, doesn't that look cool? So I've created a negative image and it's amazing. Okay, so you can actually control the colours on that. So I might take the leaves off, see what's going to happen. Okay, even the leaves look pretty cool. Okay, and then I might pull another, oh, where's my paper gone to? Yeah, I'm going to try and pull another one. I've lost my piece of paper. Okay. All right, just do it on a bigger sheet of paper. Oh, here it is. I've got too much stuff happening at the moment. So this is what I'm using, Arches Aquarelle. Quite expensive stuff. It's pretty good for drawing with and pencil drawing, which is great. Blends beautifully, but I love it for this sort of thing. Okay, and I go over the top. Rub, 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 rub. Really put some force into it. Peel it off and look at that. You can actually, once that dries, you can use some of those gel pens and you can work back into it. It's stunning. It looks fantastic. So it's amazing what you can do. So just in the one gel print, as you can see, I've created several gorgeous lifts of colour. Okay, so using this is a thicker piece of paper. That was actually a 300 GSM, and it creates a different texture. You can actually see the texture of the paper in there, which is really wonderful. And then this as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlay over the top of this one. I've got an idea. I don't know if it's going to work, but hey ho, it's great to have fun with it. So I've got the plate. I've got some gold. And what I might do is I might add a little bit more colour to it. It's turning a bit muddy, so I might have to go for a little bit of purple, like so. Okay, it's a little bit too much colour actually. Alright, and I might just grab a bigger sheet of paper, pop it over the top, try something a bit different. Okay, it's peeled it off, looks quite nice. And then I'm going to put this back over the top of it. But I want to add some gold to it just to see what happens. So I'm going to pop a little bit of gold on the top of this. Actually, best to paint it on. There we go. See what happens, and I'll roll it on. Okay. Looking a bit messy. Keep losing my paper. Here we go. Paper. Okay, so again, let's see what happens. But this time I haven't got a roller, so I'll have to use this little tool, which is literally just a disc made out of plastic, and it's wrapped in banana leaf. You can buy them from any print shop. I think they're made in China. You don't have to, you can just use your hand if you don't have this. I just happen to have one spare, so I thought I'd try and use it. Okay, fingers crossed. Voila, that looks pretty awesome actually, pretty nice. So if you do have stencils, and I will do another one with stencils once I get some stencils just to show you. And if I pull that off, what you can do, I'm actually going to use another type of paper, and it's Yupo paper. So Yupo paper is like a plastic. So if you don't like something, you can actually wipe it off, as you can see here. If I don't like something, pardon the mess I've made, trying to keep everything in order. Okay, so I'm just going to see what happens. I have actually used it on here with some, looking at watermarks with some blue. It was one of the pieces I didn't really like. Anyway, so I'm just going to pop it on here and see what happens. Maybe go that way, like so. Okay, and see if I can actually get something on this, because it's a different type of paper. It's a really good paper to cut a stencil out. Oh wow, now look at that. Doesn't that look amazing? Love the textures. So that was basically the negative that was left and imprinted from the onion bag that I have here, and this was the positive with the onion bag over the top, and I rolled it. Possibly if I had put a little bit less ink, it wouldn't have been as gluggy in here, but I actually quite like that. That works really well. I'd have to say one of my favorites at the moment is this. I really like this. I think it's worked out really well, and there's a whole lot of potential. You can actually draw back into it or use different textures. So what I'm going to do, I've got this one here. I'm actually going to pop this print back on there, and I'm going to pop a fern on there as well. Not sure how I'm going to do this. Okay, I don't know if I've got enough paint on this, so it's a bit of an experiment. This whole thing's been a bit of an experiment. So push it down, pop this on here, and I'm going to press it as hard as I can and see what else I can actually lift off the plate. I suspect you can actually use any sort of plastic plate. I'll try it with that. I just like this because it's sort of soft. It sort of absorbs the pressure. Right, I can actually smell the leaves. I think I've pressed the actual leaf in. Okay, no, not a lot happened, as you can see. So what I might do is I'm going to try it again, but I'm actually going to put some gold on here and see what happens. So I'm going to put a little bit more paint. I think we're sort of low in paint. So if we just put a little bit here, a little bit there, see what happens. Okay, and then gold here and there. So you could possibly make little Christmas cards or, you know, Easter cards if you want to. And then I'm going to try the leaf again. So sometimes it depends on your leaves. Like this one's pretty closed. I'm not going to get much from it. Okay. So I'm going to see what happens. I've got a fair bit of gold. Well, so what I might do is I might put a bit more gold on there. I kind of like the combination of the purple and the gold. It actually looks really, really nice. So I might just pop. See what happens. Or you can even, you know, paint it on if you want. It just becomes a bit gluggy if you do that. It's best to roll it on if you can. Okay, I'm going to see what happens now. Might not work. I'll see. All right. Use the same thing again over the top. Okay, there is a little bit of a print, but not a lot. Okay, and if I take that off, I get a gold leaf, and I might try the other side of the Yupo paper just to see what it's like. Rub it. Probably get a negative image. And you can just see it coming across. So sometimes it depends on the leaves that you actually use, whether it's a great idea or not. Obviously these leaves here were better than say the fern, But if I was to place the fern on the other side, it's meant to, you can clean these, but probably best just to keep lifting it off. So I'll just move some of these papers down. So sometimes if something doesn't work, it might be even good to go for a darker colour. So I might try and do something different. Okay, so I've got this one here that I kind of like, but what I might do is I'll put this, not fern, I'm going to put a whole heap of things. I'll put this down, it's a bigger one, and I might even put some of this down, okay, and then I'm going to roll some colour over the top of it and then put it on there. So maybe roll some gold over the top, see what happens to it. I'm obsessed with gold tonight. Okay, right. All right, let's see how we go. Oops, ooh, it's making a bit of a mess. Might not be such a good idea. I'll try it anyway. Pop that out the way. It has left, as you can see, it has an imprint. We'll see how we go with this. I can't really line it up, so it's going to be a bit of a guess. Oh, that'll do. Using this. Okay, you can sort of see the leaf and it has picked up quite nicely. It actually looks really nice with the gold. You can work back into it as well. I don't mind that because it's only just a very subtle type of a print. It looks pretty good. Okay, so that's one that I had over the top. I might peel that off, put it away. Now if I had a darker colour, it would probably, like underneath the start, it would probably work. Oops. Okay, and so if I put another piece of paper over the top of it, I might just, it just depends on your paper. So this is quite a thick cartridge I'm using, so it's not going to pull off the colour as much. And I'm running out of ink, or sorry, paint. Getting my inks and paints mixed up. There we go. Okay, yeah, no, that didn't work as well. But anyway, it's picked up. So if I was to do it again, I'm just looking at these ones here. That worked quite well by putting that down first and then rolling over the top and grabbing some really interesting aspects to it. Okay, so it had the colours underneath, the leaves over the top. It worked really well. So if I was to do, I'm going to do it just in gold this time. See if I put quite a lot of gold on here. Let's see what happens. Okay, and I do have some bronze. Oh. Even that, see, this paint, the Atelier paints are really thick. Oh gosh, yeah. It's very, very thick. It's got a gorgeous texture to it. Okay, just put this down. And I am going to put these leaves back on just to give it a go. See what happens. Okay, just down like so. Now you can actually buy some, you know, wrapping paper, or you can buy some coloured paper and apply the coloured paper if you want to and see what happens to the paper. Okay, I don't actually have any coloured paper with me because I wanted to try that. But anyway, not to worry, we'll just work with this. Okay, let's see, put this down as well. Nice soft leaves. I think the softer the leaf, the new growth is so much better to work with. You know, and you can put other things in, but I'm just going to put a little bit of gold. I'm just having second thoughts now whether I should put something else. Anyway, you may be able to suggest something to me. So, my last piece of paper. Okay, let's see what happens. I think this would look fantastic either on white or on black. And you can just keep building different stencils. So that's pretty cool. That is pretty nice. Okay, and then you pull that off. They're pretty nice, isn't it? Just that on its own. You could put that in a frame, look gorgeous. Make your own Christmas colours. Okay, there we go. And I am actually running out of a little bit of paper, so I might have to use one of the other ones that I use. So this one here. So I'll pop this to the side and pull that leaf off. Want to see what happens with this. This is rather messy. Printing is messy. Okay. You can also use the back of a spoon if you want to. Oh yeah. Okay, so you've got an interesting positive coming up from it, and you can work back into that. I hope you've enjoyed this series of printing. It's been quite a lot of fun. I've made lots and lots of prints just in the one session, and you can see, I'll bring them up. Some of the ones that you can see. So this one's particularly nice. It's a beautiful complementary. You can make bookmarks out of it. You can make cards. You can stitch back into it. It's whatever you want to do. And this is using that Yupo paper. I already had a design underneath. The blue actually looks quite nice underneath that too. These ones here. This is using the old onion bag, which is quite interesting. And you could possibly buy textured papers. And I haven't done anything with this one here, but I actually like that just the way it is. I can see potential with it, maybe with a stencil over the top of it later on. And this one here is quite subtle too. So I mean, if I fold them up, they actually, you know, they'll make quite a nice little card, and you buy a lovely envelope to complement it, whether it's in a gold or a white or a cream. So thanks for watching, and hopefully, you know, give us a like if you liked what I've shown you today. It's been great fun presenting this, you know, quite different to what I'm used to doing. Always happy for comments and suggestions. Yeah, thank you.